welcome to Taylor Talks Comics Live at a special start time today. Thank you for joining me. I know I try to keep it consistently on the same time, same day every week, but I was preempted. No, but I am going live at noon on Near Mint Conditions, so this is just a little pre-show possibly for you. So if you want to continue to hear me talk about comics, I'll be doing that at noon Eastern, Near Mint Condition, directly following the show. So it's going to be a quick 1 hour show here for this week's Taylor Talks Comics Live. James Abel in the house. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Hello, Dana, how are you? So yeah, my birthday was this past Monday. I was also Sesame Street Day. The 56th anniversary or birthday of Sesame Street is also on November 10th. I turned 38 years old. So that was a lot of fun. But I celebrated by doing a lot of, thank you, Mr. Bungle. I celebrate by doing a lot of shopping at thrift stores and comic book shops and things. My son planned a day for us to go out and about on Sunday, and that was a lot of fun. And then my wife stayed home from work. She works at a school from work on Monday, and then we went out and about, and I got some stuff. So I got a big haul here. So it's mostly just going to be me showing off what I brought and then also talking to you guys. Can you still read small print and comics with those old eyes? I haven't had that problem yet. Sorry. I don't have the best vision anyways, but as far as reading goes, I'm fine. Seeing things from far away, though, will be an issue. I'm hoping that's the last thing that goes is my eyesight. I'd rather go deaf than blind. No, but right now, the sight's all good. But what are you guys doing? What did you guys do over the weekend? Read any good comics lately? Haul any good comics lately? I am having trouble this week. I talked about this on my show a few months ago. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. But a few months ago, we talked about on the news portion of the show, that there was going to be a total THB from Paul Pope coming out. And it's going to be 3 volumes collecting all of THB, which was like his one-man anthology from back in the 90s. In early aughts, I think. But that's supposed to come out this week. Volume 1's supposed to come out this week. But none of the main retailers have it. And I don't understand. It's like none of the typical, CGN, IST, PBC, none of them have it this week. My comic shop didn't have it this week. And it's through Macmillan Publishing. It's the same publisher that put out Jesse Lonergan's Drome. And I know it's like mainly a book publisher, but you would think they'd be trying to get into comic book shops. But I don't know. So you can't order it online still. I was just disappointed I couldn't order it through the usual ventures. Anybody else pick up the total THB? Because I still have not even seen a physical picture of it, a physical copy yet. I've looked all over the internet looking for someone holding a physical copy to see what it looks like, in full, and I can't find it. I can only find the stock image solicitation. So I don't know. So I want to have it in my hands. It's one of the books I was most looking forward to this year. Dana says, I've been reading Junji Ito this week. Gyo and Moan. Ooh. I've not read Moan yet. That's the new one. But it's never a bad time to read Junji Ito. My Tales of Paranoia is out for delivery today, so I'm ready to dig into that. I went to my shop this past weekend, and I was looking forward to picking that up, and they're sold out. So I'm going to find a copy. And there's still, it's not like out of print already or anything like that. You can find copies fairly easily. I just wanted to pick it up from my shop, and they didn't have any. The Total THB by Paul Pope. It's like his one main anthology was called THB back in the day, and he's now collecting it. It's been a long Sorry. It's been a long awaited venture that he's never collected it before, and the single issues go for crazy prices. But yeah, Total THB by Paul Pope is the book. The last comic I bought was Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, but I haven't read it yet. Ooh, that's a good one. Some JR artwork in there. I'm waiting on my new Robert Crumb book from Fantagraphics. They are a little bit behind, so they give me a discount on ordering new stuff. So I'll be forced to buy something else. Hello, Victor. Thank you for joining me. The Tales of Paranoia, yeah. That's they still have it in stock on their website, so I can't order it from there when the time comes. I think I will probably be putting an order in with them soon, but we'll see. Hopefully it's still in stock when I do. And because they're doing a Black Friday sale coming up, that's 40% off, which is like the biggest sale they have every year. And no other place can you get new Fantagraphics books for 40% off. So it's pretty cool. Unless you go to conventions and things. I think at conventions they have pretty good deals. But yeah, I have heard the rhetoric or the critics or the reviews online of Tales of Paranoia from Robert Crumb, and people were upset that he was very anti-vaccine all throughout it, and they felt like he was ranting about vaccines and whatnot. And to that, I will say, I don't think I've ever read a Robert Crumb comic book that I agreed with 100% of the things that he said. I don't go into reading a Robert Crumb comic trying to get some sort of philosophical manifesto for me to live my life by. And I think Robert Crumb's always pissed people off, certain groups of people, not a certain group, but certain groups of people with all of his comics. So the fact that he's anti-vaccine in his older age and he's kind of curmudgeonly, and let's keep in mind he just recently lost his wife as well. I'm personally not anti-vaccine, and I do think there is some danger around that rhetoric of being anti-vaccine by some people, depending on what the rhetoric is, that can't actually discern the conversation between what is good and what is bad. I don't go on that rant, but I have seen that people are upset about that with Robert Crumb. It's just weird. Don't read Crumb, copy. No, that's what I'm saying. Read Robert Crumb. He's one of the greatest cartoonists of all time. However, don't go into Robert Crumb thinking you're going to get some sort of like motivational speech about how you should live your life. Other than waiting for new Crumb, you know what I've been up to all week. My great work is done. Now yes. Thank you for reminding me. Jordan, everybody go to my Discord, by the way. Link down in the comments and description. I'm sure one of the moderators will share it here. But Jordan is an amazing book designer and does all these DIY projects with his books. Doesn't sell any of them, so don't go hounding him for trying to buy these books because he doesn't even have the rights to sell these books. He just does it for fun. But amazing work, and he put together 2 artist editions of Richard Corbin, and they're beautiful, immaculate. But if you go to my Discord, he shows off pictures there, and also a link to his YouTube channel. If one of the moderators could share the link to his YouTube channel, I would appreciate that, where he's showing actually a flip through video of it, which is awesome. Thanks for the heads up on the sale. I'll check that sale out. Yes, if they give you a discount code though, Victor, for something else, you won't be able to combine the discount codes. So I just want to warn you there. You'll have to use whichever one is the better one, I guess. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, the sale they've already announced it. They're doing a Cyber Monday sale on the Monday after Thanksgiving. I think that's where they have a discount on all of their books coming out next year, which I just did a video. My most recent video I did was actually going through the catalog for next year. So I think it's like 20 or 30% off. I forget what it is. Those books, that'll be the Monday after Thanksgiving. And then I think right now they might have some sort of sale right now, but the big one is Black Friday. That's their big sale where it's 40% off. Yes, here's my Discord. Everybody, please go join that. We have great conversations about comics. And there's Jordan McLean's YouTube channel. Everybody go check that out and subscribe. Maybe entice Jordan to do even more videos. I stare more at the Crumb art than anything, but I would rather be honest than a phony trying to cater to fans. Yeah, I mean, that is something you go to Crumb read his comics for is just his unbridled honesty about how he views the world and things. Like there's no filter with Crumb, and that leads to some people upsetting some people, which is fine. Like I understand. If anything he does upsets you, by all means, I'm not telling you not to be upset. I'm just saying that understand the source, I suppose. Are you planning on doing a review of the new edition of Lone Wolf and Co? I am, Mr. Bungle. My plan is right now, because I want to do it when it comes out. So my plan is right now, hopefully to hit my shop the day it comes out and to read it and have a review uploaded very fast on that book. I want to try to be one of the first YouTubers to review it. It's my goal. Is hopefully my shop comes through and has a copy. I'm just happy Jordan trashing those Mud People books. Josh, one day you'll appreciate good art. Shots fired. I mean Lone Wolf. Yes, I got you, Bungle. Hi, Taylor. What's happening? Not much. How are you? Cool. All right, so let's go over my haul. I did get a package of review copies from Fantagraphics in yesterday. It was really cool. And it came with 3 books, which is exciting. The first of which is the new Milo Manara book. Milo Manara? The Magnificent Adventure, The Perils of Giuseppe Bergman. And it's this large-sized, oversized trade paperback. And it has amazing artwork inside. If you want to see some Milo Manara artwork. Here's a good piece. This insanely detailed, beautiful artwork. Any Milo Manara fans in here? This book comes out early next year, I think. Let's see. This book comes out December. Oh, so it comes out in a couple months. If you want the Milo Manara book. And then I need a place to put these. I also got Snafu, which is the 8th volume of the Atlas Comics library. And this is collecting all of the issues of Snafu, which was Marvel, who was called Atlas Comics at the time, their answer to Mad Magazine. And I have to say, my first flip through, I'm pretty impressed with their. Pretty impressed with their. Let me move my microphone. With their copying of Mad Magazine. The artists in here are the same bullpen of artists from all the other Atlas books. You got like Joe Maneely, Bill Everett, John Severin, Marie Severin. Which John Severin did some work for Mad Magazine and Cracked. Cracked Magazine was another knockoff of Mad. Alfred E. Newman, Harvey Kurtzman's Mad Magazine. Once Mad Magazine became a huge hit especially on the magazine racks, like there was so many parodies. Not parodies. So many knockoffs of other companies trying to capture that same vibe. But it's a really cool cover too. But I was kind of impressed. I was expecting it to be more like exactly like Atlas Comics, like actual comic strips with just comedic style, but they actually do all the things that Mad Magazine would do with all the ephemera and the fake ads and the text pages and things. So yeah, they did a really good job. So I'm excited to read this, even more so than I originally was, which I was already excited. And then the next is the latest of the Attilio Micheluzzi books. So I did one video on Micheluzzi. If one of my moderators wants to find that name right there, to find my old video. But this is Petra Shuri, and this is a thick one. The other one was much thinner. But this is an Italian cartoonist that they are collecting the works of. Fantagraphics does a great job collecting a lot of comics from overseas and just foreign, non-American comics creators. This one's in full color. The last one I did, which I forget what the name of that one was. It was the Life in, I don't know. Oh, James says, Josh, get to it. Well, whenever Josh gets to it, I'll remember the name of it. But that was in full, that was in black and white. And his artwork's amazing, though. It was kind of quite the discovery for me when I read that book that I never even heard of Micheluzzi, which I kind of pride myself on at least knowing of the great European artists that haven't even had their work translated yet. But this was one that I didn't know about. So I'm really excited that Fantagraphics is collecting his work. It's great stuff. And I want to read more of it. Just watching the new Super Mario Galaxy trailer. It looks amazing. Yes, it does. My son and I are both really excited for that one. That first movie was really, really good. But the Petra Cherie book comes out in December as well. I'm assuming Snafu. Yeah, I think Snafu comes out in December. I didn't get a little solicitation sheet for that one, but I assume it is. Don't send Taylor my bad art. Haha. What's that mean? Oh, your artwork is somehow bad compared to Richard Corbin. I don't know. I don't think that joke landed very well, Josh. Richard Corbin rules. Is there any news about Milo Manara's Sin City? No. There's no news on that, and there's no news on the I forget what he's calling it, the Frank Miller Western Sin City comic that he's working on that he's been talking about for 20 plus years, both of which I'm very excited about. I hope that they still come out. December is less than a month away, sir. It is. You're right. This is November. Thank you. I don't know where I am or what month I'm in. I have the Dark Horse Library editions of his work. Beautiful stuff. Of the Milo Manara stuff, I don't have anything. I don't think I own any Milo Manara. Milo Manara. Milo or Milo? And this is a new line of books that are doing it for, it's called the Signature Edition Library, Manara Signature Edition Library. And it has a volume 2 on the spine. I think the other ones were that Caravaggio, which I still have not picked up yet. Did you get the copy of Winnie the Pooh, which is releasing December 2nd? I did not. I did not get a review copy of that. It does look cool, though. Josh, get to it. Damn. Kyle, thank you for joining me. Happy belated birthday, Taylor. 87ers for the win. Yes, Kyle. 1987 was a great year. Panels with Pete. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Taylor. Happy to join live. Always impressed by how much you read. If I was independently wealthy and abandoned my family, I could maybe catch up. I'm not independently wealthy at all, and I try not to abandon my family. I just read a lot. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV and movies. Like, this is like my go-to hobby. So I'm either spending time with my family, like my son and wife, or I'm reading. I don't really like watch TV. I don't play video games either. So I don't know if that's what helps me read more. And not for any particular reason. It's just a choice. Like, I'd much rather read comics than watch TV, movies, or play video games. Taylor, one day you'll learn what good art is. Oh, I know what good art is, Josh. And Richard Corbin is good art. I personally like Manara's art, but his storytelling not so much. It's obviously pronounced Milo, poser. Is that Milo or Milo, though? That's how it's spelled. You can't tell me it's you can't tell me that's how it's pronounced. It's like saying it's obviously pronounced Jordan, Jordan. It doesn't tell me how to pronounce your name. Jordaniel. Why don't I open some stuff? Where's my handy dandy knife? I won't use my pen nib because that upset Josh last time. Pronounce it like the Italians do. Milo Manara. Like that? Is that offensive? That's the joke. Us poor Americans are only left to guess and be embarrassed. Oh, okay. I get it now. Yes, I love playing the dumb American card. Whenever I don't know how to pronounce a name, I'm like, I'm just a dumb American. I'm sorry. Fantagraphics is, oh, geez, I lost it. One hell of a company who's breaking my wallet every single month. It is. Fantagraphics. I'm telling you guys, that catalog that I just went over in that last video is amazing. Like their 2026 is starting off hot. Like it's going to be good stuff. So if you've been following my show for a while, then you know I've been trying to collect all of 20th Century Boys. And here is volume 11. So I'm just one volume away. I just need the 21st Century Boys to complete the set. It has a crease in the spine, unfortunately. That's fine, though. No big deal. Looks pretty in good shape. But I did not meet my goal, personally, of reading 20th Century Boys all throughout October. So I got behind on my 31 Days of Horror Comics videos, and I didn't get a chance to read much outside of horror comics. Next year, I'm going to meet my goal of having all those videos done and all of my horror comics read before October 1st. I swear to it. But I'm going to try to read 20th Century Boys, I think in January. And then look at this. Here it is. The final volume. This is 21st Century Boys. And I think it was a 3-in-1 or 2-in-1 originally. I think it was a 2-in-1. So I think if you collect just the tankobons of 20th Century Boys, there's 2 volumes of 21st Century Boys, and then these are 3-in-1s, I believe. Regardless, the spines do match still. It just says 21st Century Boys on it, and there is a connecting image across all the spines, which I can do. Actually, that's a good Instagram post. And now I can put them all together and show them off on the IG. Everyone go follow me there. But I'm excited to read this finally. I've read the first 8 volumes a few times. I read the first 4 or 5 volumes at least 3 or 4 times. And then, because every time I'd get a new volume, I'd have to start at the beginning again. Because it's dense, but it's amazing. Like it's packed full of like conspiracy theory and government, like political conspiracies and everything. The whole conceit of the story, though, if you're wanting to know why I'm going crazy over it, is that imagine you and your friends when you're younger wrote a comic book, and then you kind of forget about it. You live your life, go on for 20 plus years. And then as adults, everything you wrote in that comic book back then starts to come true in the real world. And that's when it gets good. That's when it, and you know what? Naoki Urasawa is an amazing cartoonist. His ability to draw, because it's all in black and white artwork, like your typical manga, but which is hard to discern different characters when you do black and white. That's like the one downside of black and white comic book artwork, is you can't tell difference of characters based on clothing color or hair color or anything like that. But Urasawa's ability to draw all these characters at all these different stages of their life, when they're kids, when they're young adults, when they're middle-aged, and have them look, you know exactly who it is. When you like start the story off with this kid, and then when the next chapter you see him when he's like 25 or 30, you know exactly what kid that is because of the way he draws the characters. An amazing thing. I don't know how he does it, but you don't get lost in the storytelling at all. It's great. Haven't read any Milo myself. I just know him from the Omar box. Not joking there. Oh, I know. I know what you mean. That's right. I need to get like 2 to 4. Amazon return. No, this was eBay. And it said it was like, I think it even said it was new. I don't mind spine. Like, I'm going to read the thing anyways. I'm not like particularly precious about book condition. Like, I try to keep the book in the same condition that I buy it in. So I'll still take care of it from, going forward. But if I can get a good deal on a book and it just means there's a crease on the spine or something, I'm okay with it. When can we expect the next video? April? Ha! Josh. I don't know. Tomorrow. How about that? Ooh, baby. started 20th Century Boys for my library, but they were missing a volume, so I had to bail. Definitely want to pick it up eventually, but I need to read the rest of Master Keaton I own first. Yeah, Panels of Pete, I know you were starting Master Keaton. How far along have you made it? That's a series I definitely want to read. I think my next Urasawa series, though, I read will be Pluto. I've not read that one yet. And I'm definitely going to pick up Billy Bat when that comes out next year. That'll be my first Urasawa series that I collect as it comes out, because it'll be translated into English for the first time from Kana, the imprint of Abrams Comic Arts. I always get that mixed up. Abrams Comic Arts. But I want to read Pluto and I want to read Monster. So that'll probably be what I collect after this. And Asadora, I need to continue, I guess. I read the first couple of volumes of that. I would say this, read that all at once. It is better to sit down all at once. It is. I mean, I can tell that's why I've read the first few volumes multiple times, is because I don't want to miss any of the pieces. And I can already tell that when I finish the series, I'm going to want to reread the series to pick up on little clues and foreshadowing and things that I missed out on, which are my favorite kind of comics. I love comics that warrant rereading. Those are the best. If you like Stephen King's It storytelling, that's this book. I've not read It before, but I did just start The Shining for the first time. I've told you guys I'm trying to mix in some prose into my comics reading, and I started reading The Shining. My mom is a huge Stephen King fan. Like growing up, I knew my mom loved to read two things: Stephen King and Sue Grafton books. Which Sue Grafton was like the A is for whatever books, B is for this, C is for this, and like murder mysteries. But she loves Stephen King as well, and Richard Bachman, his pseudonym. So my mom has a big collection of Stephen King books, and since I'm trying to mix in some prose reading, which I told her about last time I was at her house, she brought out a stack of Stephen King books and was like, borrow one. So I picked The Shining, and I will eventually get to It. I'm trying to read smaller prose books, though, because I want to. My goal next year is to read one prose book a month, and the smaller the book, the better I will be able to achieve that. I own the first 3 of Keaton. I need to read them. I've been doing a volume or 2 in between other series, up to 7, I think now. Really enjoying it. Pluto is really excellent. Yeah, I already know I'm going to love Pluto, because I love Astro Boy. I love Osamu Tezuka. Do you have a Goodreads account to follow you there? I do, Mr. Bungle, and I believe the link is down below in the description of this video. I have Instagram, Twitter, Bluesky, whatever else on YouTube. But then I also have Goodreads, and I have a Letterboxd for movies that I watch as well. Goodreads I don't write reviews in. I do put what I'm reading and what my star ratings are, and it could give you a little glimpse of what maybe future videos could be out on my channel. If you see, because sometimes I'll read something and then not do the video for a little bit. So could give you a little bit glimpse in there. But if you like, on Letterboxd, thanks James for sharing the links here. Letterboxd, I do write reviews of the movies I watch. I try to write at least a paragraph or so of the movies. I think that's one of the. I know I just said I don't watch movies on TV, but I definitely, when I do watch movies, that was one of my goals this year, is to watch a little bit more movies, but I don't know. So yeah, Misery is good. I want to read Misery. That's one. I love that book. I love that movie with Kathy Bates, and that's a book I definitely want to read. That's on my list. And Firestarter is also on my list, because my mom. I never even heard of Firestarter. I know there's a Drew Barrymore movie now, but in the stack of books that my mom gave me, I was reading all the descriptions. Dead Zone seems pretty cool, and Firestarter was one that really caught my eye. Thinner is a quick read. Here's my Goodreads, if anybody wants to follow me there and see what I'm reading. I'm way over my goal, by the way, this year. Normally, come November, December, I'm like trying to pad through and read like some smaller books to like race to my goal at the end of December, but I'm still like 8 books ahead, which is great. What do you think of it? I reread Shining last year, so it's relatively fresh in my mind. So far, I'm loving it. I'm only like 100 pages in, though, so I'm about 25% away through the book. So, I'm loving. I'll say this: I love Stephen King's writing style already. So I think I'm going to like Stephen King books. Here's my Letterboxd. Hello, Chris. Hope you had a nice birthday. I did. I had a great birthday. The Discord has a reading section. It does as well. Yes, there is a "What are you reading now?" section of the Discord if you want to join in on the conversation. Thanks, James. Maybe you should use your Discord. I probably should use it more as far as like what I'm reading. I try to post when what I'm reading every once in a while. I'm not the best at it, but I do want to get better at that. And also maybe I should put movies I watched in because there's a movies TV section and pump up the letterboxd a little bit more, you know? I'm thrilled that Fantagraphics is collecting Attilio Micheluzzi. I first discovered his work in Twisted Tales #6 back in the 80s. That's amazing. Yeah. He has been translated in English before, but never collected, I don't think. I think he's only had like his work appear in anthologies and things. But his artwork is really, really amazing. That was my first like thought when I was reading that other book, which none of the moderators have shared the video of. Where's the link, moderators? I was just kidding, by the way. That was my first thought, though, was like, how have I not heard of this guy? His artwork's amazing. The Dark Tower series and The Stand are among my favorites. The Stand, I remember, because my brother's also, I think by proxy, my mother, a huge Stephen King fan. And I just remember as a kid him reading The Stand, and it seemed like he was reading it for eternity. But I think he was just reading it, rereading it. It's a long book. I think it's like 1,000 pages. But that's one of his favorite books of all time. The Dark Tower series, I know that's been adapted into comics. I don't know if I have much interest in reading the comic adaptation, though. Is it worth reading? Or should I just go to straight prose? I just read The Stand, but I was not that into it, to be honest. Oh. Another one I want to read, which is a longer one, so it'll be much later that I read it, was 11/22/63, I think it's called. I watched the Hulu series, and I love the TV show, so I love that book. Neither of which fall into your smaller reads. No, The Stand definitely doesn't. I know that. Really? First person I know that hasn't raved about it. The one story that made me want to seek out more work by Micheluzzi, and I didn't have much luck. These new books are long overdue. I agree. I love when Fantagraphics is committed. They find an artist and they're committed to printing all of their works. It's such a cool thing. Like Jacques Tardy is one that I'm still trying to catch up on. All of his stuff, but that's one they've released like almost 20 books of. Needful Things are my two favorites. I haven't heard of Needful Things, but it's definitely it's like my further on my list. Like when I get ready for it, I'll read that. Yeah, I gave The Stand 3 out of 5. Oh, okay. I didn't like Dark Tower. I need to give it a second chance. Okay. We are the halfway mark before I have to go into my other show. I did get Witchman from Tom Scioli. This was a gift sent to me by Chris. I'm not sure if Chris wants me to say his full name or not, but he hit me up on Instagram. I hope he's watching this, but thank you so much, Chris. Seriously, thank you so much. And saw on one of my shows, I said I didn't have a copy of this, and he happened to have multiple copies. I forget what the circumstances were, but he said, I'll send you one. And this is Tom Scioli. Everybody knows I love Tom Scioli's work. And this was a Kickstarter that he did, and I missed out on it. And there's not really any place you can buy this now. Tom Scioli doesn't have like an online store, which is unfortunate. But the minute I opened the package and pulled this out, I sat down and read this whole thing, which isn't always what happens when I order books. But I had to because I love Tom Scioli's work. And this is so much fun. And I think this might be his best artwork that I've seen in a comic. I think that he poured his heart and soul into this book. But Witchman is this superhero character that he created that is supposed to be like an homage to Golden Age comics, like specifically Golden Age comics in the kind of like their origin issues. And it's amazing. I hope that he revisits this character because this was such a blast. I do plan on doing a video on this one because I had so much fun with this book. But get your hands on this if you can. It's so much fun. But also look forward to my video so I can show you more of the insights. Then this weekend I got Box Brown Child Star. Any Box Brown fans in the house? I've read a lot of Box Brown, but I've not read this one yet. Box Brown's done a lot of great comic graphic novels. Tetris, the history of Tetris is one of the books that I like to pitch for new readers because it's such a wild such a wild story. Like to give someone the premise of this is a comic book or a graphic novel about the history and the making of Tetris. Sounds like the most boring thing ever. You're like, Tetris? Like, I love playing that game, but it's just like, what is exciting about that? But that book is so thrilling, and all of the behind the scenes with like Russia and America that has to do with the making of Tetris it's amazing. Like, he made it into a thriller. Great stuff. Go read that one. He also did a biography on Andre the Giant, which is great, and a biography on Andy Kaufman, two of the great folk legend kind of celebrities that I can never get enough of. A huge Andy Kaufman fan. But this is Child Star. This is a fictional, just like a straight OGN that he did. I haven't read this yet, but I think it's based on like the typical horror stories that you hear, the tragic stories of the child stars, celebrities who are big names on sitcoms when they're kids and they grow up and have like terrible lives. I think that's the premise of this one, but I can't wait to read this one. Box Brown is an awesome, awesome read for anyone that hasn't read it. And then also, I talked about Jesse Lonergan earlier. I got Arca. This is one of the Lonergan titles that I've yet to read. Written by Van Jensen. Put out by IDW. I found this at a Half Price Books, I think. And the premise is pretty cool. It's society crumbled, but its billionaires had an escape. The Arca, a vessel equipped with life's luxuries, maintained by teenagers, forced to exchange their childhoods for the promise of wealth on their 18th birthday. So it's about a bunch of billionaires leaving planet Earth after they destroyed it and trying to live elsewhere, which sounds a lot familiar to some of the billionaires that we hear talking today. So hopefully that'll be an interesting read. Bum, bum, bum. The comics are more companion material than an adaptation. Lots of prequel material, and the parts that are adaptation are also part sequel to the books in some interesting ways. Oh. So you can't just read just the comics then. Interesting. I love the stand during the Plague's Journey stuff in the first 3/4, but I think the ending's weak. Salem's Lot is probably my favorite king. Okay. I'm looking forward to Corto Maltese books. Me too. I don't own any Hugo Pratt in my collection, and I know that Fantagraphics is like the perfect publisher to treat that work as respectably as it needs to be, and I enjoy it. I can't wait. Same, pre-ordered it out of the old small editions that was cut up. I need to get Witchman, but I was a bit surprised by the high price for a single issue, but I should have jumped on it. Yeah, it is $25 cover price, which is quite a bit. But it has like, I think 80 pages or something. It's pretty thick for a single issue, but I feel like it's worth it. If you're a Tom Scioli fan, it's worth it. Excited for the Witchman video in April. Get out of here. I liked Xanadex a lot, but it was very sparse and loose compared to his most detailed work. I usually prefer that stuff. Exactly what I thought, Pete. Xanadex, which I loved a lot, in the art style, I feel like was almost like his treatment of manga. Like I said that in the video I did on that. I feel like he could release that in like a tankobon version and do like a long series with Xanadex. This is his more detailed artwork. Like this has like, that's what I was saying when I said it might be his best artwork of his career. Definitely like some of the pages still has his looser style, but when I was reading this, it's like, whoa, like it almost like caught me off guard with how detailed it was compared to the recent Scioli that I've read, like Xanadex and whatnot. But that's a good point they made. I also picked up this, and holy crap. This is the Shazam Archives Volume 1, collecting the CC Beck era Captain Marvel comics. I'm a huge fan of CC Beck and Otto Bender. Every time I can get a facsimile edition or read any sort of issues from that era, I soak it up and I want to read more of it. I can't read enough of it. I know these archive editions exist. My comic shop had this though, and every time we go there, I pick it up and I'm like, should I buy this? And then my son finally forced me to buy it. I've already read through halfway of it, and I can't get enough. I don't know what it ranked on my top 10 most wanted DC omnibuses, but this is my number one, and it'll be my number one until they finally print the freaking thing or reprint this material in some fashion. I don't care if it's DC Finest. I don't care if it's omnibus, whatever it needs to be. We need Captain Marvel collected comprehensively. I this is going to be one of my next videos because I'm going to read this, and I have a couple other Captain Marvel books I'm going to show off as well in that video that are really, really great. This is the stuff we need in the world today. Very, very good. Happy birthday, Taylor. Thank you, Tyler. Xanadex was kinetic and strong, just the way I prefer it. Lohit, thank you for joining me. I want a finest version of Desperately. Yes, because there's like over, I think, 1,700 plus stories of Captain Marvel from Fawcett era. And I don't know if that's including the Captain Marvel family stuff or not, but there's so much material out there. It definitely needs a comprehensive like omnibus or DC Finest collection where you're collecting like 600 plus pages at a clip to get it properly. But yeah. Just catching up, and Midtown Comics says release date for Total THB is next week. So maybe IST, Panel Bound Comics, and CGN will have it then. Maybe. It said November 11th last time I saw. Maybe it got pushed back. I also got the 20th Century 8-Ball trade paperback. There are not many Dan Clowes collections I don't own. A lot of this material I already owned because I have the box set of 8-Ball. But there's still some pages in here that weren't in there. And I just like the idea of having every Clowes book. So I think I'm missing Caricature, and then I'm missing his early stuff. So I don't have any of the Lloyd Llewellyn stuff. That's my next hunt right now, is the Lloyd Llewellyn material. But I've been reading through this last couple days too. Dan Clowes is just amazing, amazing stuff. There's like his book design, the overall package of how he makes his comics is great. Everything's hand lettered, hand colored, hand drawn. Just amazing stuff. Truly, truly great stuff. Like, this is a table of contents. He drew like a little icon for each story to do the table of contents. And then the indicia for the book is actually told, like the indicia, the copyright material, is told within a comic strip. Just a genius. Absolute genius. Cartoonist. Hey now, Harvey, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, DGHDHJVBNV. He's ready to party. Isn't 8-Ball in that thick collection? Yes. There's a thick trade paperback that collects the entire first 18 issues, or the box set, which I have. But Lohit, you need to pick that up. That's the Clowes book I keep trying to get you to get. Wait, mister, I don't have room on my shelf. Double dipping, huh? Listen, there's certain cartoonists I will double dip for, Josh, and Dan Clowes is one of them. That should be a video. That's a video idea. Who am I willing to double dip for? I should probably word that differently. Ghost World 2. Ghost World is in 8-Ball. It was originally serialized in 8-Ball. So if you get the 8-Ball collection, you'll have Ghost World, but it's also been released by itself a number of different times in avenues and formats. I have the hardcover collection. Didn't you hear, Josh? There are pages in there he doesn't have. Exactly. Those Otto Bender Captain Marvel comics are some of the best written all ages comics ever produced. I'm with you, and I want it collected. I've got the Shazam from the 40s to 70s book, but it's a lot, but not enough. That book, Dana, I was looking at that book on eBay. Does it have, does it collect just like a lot of comics from those different decades? Because that's where I'm going right now, is like, I'm trying to find out where those stories were reprinted in any sort of fashion. Like, I just found out yesterday when CC Beck returns to the character in the 70s, and I forget who writes that one. Oh, it's Denny O'Neil, and they relaunch the character for DC. I think it lasted like 34 issues, but the backup strips in those single issues were the classic CC Beck Otto Bender era Captain Marvel comics. Those were not collected, and they did collect the 70s material with Denny O'Neil and CC Beck, but they did not collect the backup strips that were in those issues. So now I'm trying to hunt down those single issues because I want those backup strips in there. There are a lot of pages he doesn't own, though, like Berserk. That's true. It's true. Video idea for June. Who would I double dip for? Wait. I also got New York Diary by Julie Doucet. I do not own this. I've never read this. I'm a huge fan of Julie Doucet I love her Dirty Plot. I have the box set for that. But I've never read New York Diary. And I don't think this was serialized in Dirty Plot, was it? No, I think this was the first graphic novel she did afterwards. Maybe I have read this. I don't know. But I think it was after the fact. But regardless, Julie Desay is an amazing cartoonist and one of the all-time great women's cartoonists. Pick that up. This was a cool one. Michael DeForge is one of my favorite cartoonists, which I feel like I say that all the time. But Ant Colony, I've seen this picture of this online, but I never held it in my hands. I didn't realize it was this landscape hardcover until I saw it at Half Price Books this weekend. I cannot wait to dive into this. I'm a huge Michael DeForge fan. I need to do a video on all my Michael DeForge books because I'm getting pretty close. I'm still like 5 or 6 away, I think, from collecting all his stuff. And I don't have any issues of Lose, which is the hard one. That's like the grail and stuff that he says he'll never reprint. So we're never going to get a big collection of Lose, unfortunately. But yeah, so I do need to do a video on Michael DeForge, though. He's like one of the most unique cartoonists out there that I really enjoy. Did everyone pre-order Pleasure Beach #2 from Josh Penninger already? Yes. Pleasure Beach #2 is up for pre-order, as well as #1 is in stock on his store. What I had to lisp there. So you can actually order Pleasure Beach #1 and 2 if you need to catch up on Josh Penninger's Big Cartel, I think it is. Ant Colony. Yes, I know, Pete. I know you're a DeForge fan. The Shazam book features collections from those decades, which is a lot to cover in 350 pages. Most of the stories are in black and white. I don't mind that. CC Beck's cartooning is amazing. That's pretty much what I'm going to do in that video, is wax poetic over how great his cartooning is and how it blows Golden Age Superman out of the water. Golden Age Superman is... I love Golden Age comics. If you've watched my channel, you know that. So I've read a lot of Golden Age comics. Golden Age Superman does not cut it for me. I don't like... I've read at least 30 issues of Golden Age Superman. Not a fan. Silver Age Superman is great. Golden Age, not so much. And the cartooning is okay. CC Beck, though, blows it out of the water. I'm not surprised that Captain Marvel was outselling Superman back in the day. Your half price is a lot better than mine. I do have a really good half price books, Josh, but these ones I went a little bit out of the way. I went 30 minutes away to get to a different half price books to get those. And that one's also great. One of my favorite comics of all time was my gateway into DeForge. He's prolific and rules. I only have 2 Lose issues, so I feel the pain. Yeah, DeForge is great. Aren't most of his books landscape? No. I think he has a couple landscape books, but I think most of them are like normal books. They're like, this isn't his book, but it's like this. Like a lot of his books, especially lately, have been like small hardcovers that are like this size. Not landscape. Lose is still my favorite stuff DeForge ever did. Well, now I'm jealous that you've read it and I haven't. I saw the Grant Geisman EC History releasing in smaller form soon. It's already out. Seth, thank you for joining me. And it's much smaller and much more affordable, but the book's already out, I think. CC Beck lived in Miami when I was growing up there, and we visited him at his house more than once. Dana, that is an amazing story. Do you have like, did he ever like draw sketches and stuff for you? The Big Red Cheese. My half price is more than 20 minutes away. Atlanta. Everything else takes time. Yeah, there's one that's like 5 minutes away from me, and then there's a few that are about 30 or so minutes away from me. All right, I'm running out of time here. I got to pump through these. I got My Friend Dahmer. I've already read this before, but I don't own a physical copy. This is Durf Backdurf, who's an awesome cartoonist, telling the story of how he went to school with Jeffrey Dahmer. There's nothing in here about Jeffrey Dahmer as an adult. This is kind of like his origin story, if you will. So it doesn't have any of the salacious, like, horrific murders that he committed in his adult life. It's just telling about him as a kid going to school at Durf Backdurf, and you can come to your own conclusion of like if certain things pre-told what would happen later in his life. But it's really, really great stuff. Highly recommend. I also got Blankets by Craig Thompson. Confession. I've never read this. I know it's like a terrible tragedy, but it's at the Half Price Books. It was cheap. Oh no, I found this Goodwill actually. Goodwill for $4.99. And I figured winter's coming up. This would be a good snowy read for wintertime. Trying to pump through these. I think I'm almost at the bottom of the list here. I got Blurry by Dash Shaw. I also have not read this. This just came out last year, I think. Dash Shaw is awesome. This has got nothing but rave reviews. So I've been jealous that I was not reading it like everybody else was, and I can't wait to read this. But Dash Shaw is an awesome cartoonist. Here's a prose book I picked up, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is supposed to be a blast to read. There's like 7 books out. I'm sure everybody has heard about this book before. And it's about a guy getting stuck in a dungeon with his ex-girlfriend's cat. And then he's on this like reality TV show where he has to escape the dungeon for the pleasure and entertainment of other people. But yes, this was it's really popular right now. It's a prose book. I'm going to read this after I finish The Shining. And this is a cool one. It's not often, and I'm not saying this to be braggadocious at all, but it's not often I can go to like a Half Price Books and like discover a comic book or a cartoonist that I've never seen before. And this was one that I picked up this book because it looked cool, and I've never heard of this cartoonist. Hopefully some of you have. And I fell in love with this book, and I want to find more from him. But this is Curses by George Wilesall. But this book is really cool. It's by Avery Hill Publishing, and it's just like full of his like mini comics and things. My lighting sucks. Sorry. But I'm gonna read this and do a video on it because I just love that discovery. That's the reason why I go thrifting and hunting all the time, is because I love discovering gems, whether it be from a cartoonist that I already love and admire that I don't own, or a brand new cartoonist that I've never heard of, and just like becoming a fan of their work. That's largely what my comic book hunting was growing up, was like always trying to seek out the cool new thing from comics. And that gave me a little nostalgia for it. So yeah. Oh my gosh. So Half Price is like, for you guys, what BMV is for me, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's like a resale shop where you can go and sell your old comics and books, obviously. But they have a comics section and manga and things. You sell that to them, and then they give you peanuts probably for it. No, they give you something. But then you could go there and hunt used books and things. In theory, it's half price books. They're charging more. The majority of their books are half price. They sell out of print stuff over cover price usually, but for the most part, they're half price. At least in my experience. No, Beck never drew a sketch for me, but he would show us realistic weapons he made. Oh, that's cool. I want to learn more about CC Beck. I don't know a lot about his life. I did read the Otto Binder biography though, and that was amazing. Otto Binder has lived a life. I'm sorry, he's no longer with us, but CC Beck, I don't know much about his actual life. Dahmer Year One. Thank you, Francisco, for joining me. Yeah, it's basically Dahmer Year One. Okay. If Taylor ever visits me here, I will take him to BMV. Oh, yes. Going to used bookstores is like my favorite place to be. So I will. You haven't read Blankets? Bunk is crying. I know. I told you it's a crime, but I'll fix that. Blankets is good. I resisted it forever, but finally got it and loved it. I still need to get Craig Thompson's latest book, too. Also, how are you the indie guy from Indie and not read Blankets? I know. I'm going to correct it, though. I need to buy it, read it, and loved it. My friend Dahmer is really good. So sad how many people failed him. Blankets is great, but I am in the few that prefer Habibi. Haven't read any Dash Shaw, to my shame. Oh, Carson loves Dungeon Crawler, Taylor. Oh, awesome. I'll talk to him about that then. Princess Donut. Yes, James has read it also, apparently. Harvey's not read Blankets. It's not often I get cool books, he says, after getting Blueberry. No. I get awesome. My Half Price Books is great. I'm saying it's not often that I discover books from a cartoonist I've never heard of. Like it's brand new to me. The comics are new to me. The cartoonist is new to me. I knew who Mobius was. What? Boo, sir. Who are you? Shame. Okay. That's my haul, though. That's my haul. I don't think I left anything out. If I did, I'll bring it up next week. This week on the channel, I'm going to do a review of Tommy Parrish's The Past is a Grotesque Animal for Fantagraphics. I also need to do a review on the latest Carl Barks book, The Lonely Lighthouse on Cape Quack. So look forward to that. And then also from Fantagraphics, it's Big Fantagraphics Week, Shadows of the Sea by Kathy Malkasian. And then also I want to do a review on Roy from Gilbert and Natalie Hernandez. Natalia? It's probably Natalia. I'm an idiot. Natalia Hernandez. But yes, so there'll be reviews on that. Oh, and which band? Or maybe I should hold that off until April. But I'm going to get out of here to prep for the Near Mint Condition show. So in 5 minutes, join me over on Near Mint Condition's YouTube channel. Someone drop a link for me. But I'm going to do my last minute plugs and then put your last minute chat comments in here, and I'll address those after the plugs. Like this video. Comment down below if you're watching this on replay. I reply to all comments, even if you do it later. Subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, always appreciate that. And use my promo code if you're shopping over at Panelbound Comics. You can save $2 off of any order if you use my promo code Taylor Talks Comics, all one word, Taylor Talks Comics. If you're putting in a larger order of 4 books or more, use my other promo code for larger savings, TTC Ship It Together. That's TTC Ship It Together, all one word, and it'll save you 5% off of that larger order. Like I said, I'm going over to Near Mint Condition in 5 minutes, so I'll be continuing talking comics over there. Okay. Curses is new to me as well. Looking forward to the video in 2027. I always hit up BMV whenever I'm in Toronto. The Beguiling, of course. Oh, the Beguiling is one of my holy grail comic shops I want to go to. Definitely got to hit up the Beguiling. What's the pitch for blankets? Going through First Love. Panels with Pete. Hit me up next time. Sounds awesome, Josh. You can find Taylor on the stream right now, right after this one. There's a link for it. There's a lot more, but better go in blind. There's my Discord. Have a good rest of your birthday. Thank you, DGHDHJVBNV. My birthday was Monday, though. This is a little belated, but thank you. I think you appreciate that. Until next time, Nemesis. Nemesis Warlock. Oh, yes. I still need to read that, though. It's on my list, my TBR. That's going to be a video as well, my TBR. Hope you had a good birthday. Thank you so much, everyone. Join me over on Near Mint Condition in a few minutes. Goodbye.